Hello.
Oh, there you go.
I
told you it was going to catch on.
Catching on.
You knew it.
How's everyone doing?
You know what? We're having T-shirts made. Would you like one?
Sure.
And it just says on the front of it, "Chillo." And I think it's understated, right? It's like understated. It's a nice greeting.
That's great.
All right. I'm going to send you one.
Sure.
You are a resident of Ellettsville, but you
Actually, Bloomington now.
Oh, Bloomington. Okay. We just drove through Bloomington. I love Bloomington. I went to school down there.
Yeah, that's my hometown.
Yeah. So you are the author of a book called The Hidden Truth.
Yes, I am.
And it's about Dillinger.
Yes.
So tell me what's the skinny? Like, what is your inside scoop on John Dillinger?
Well, the hidden story, the hidden truth in the story that
that's hidden.
Yeah, the hidden truth. It actually is based on when the FBI shot and killed John Dillinger in Chicago at the Biograph Theater. They found $7.80 on him, and the two women that were with him that night actually watched him count $3,000 and $300 in 20s, and he put them in a money bag. And so I get to the hidden truth of what happened to the money bag, and it turned out a crooked officer had stole it, and one of his fellow officers saw him take this money. So, pretty much he went to the morgue as he died broke, but that was part of the hidden truth. And there's a lot about his wife, Pearl Hovius, also my great aunt.
Yeah, that was his only wife, right?
Yes. That's correct.
Hovius. And that's your great aunt?
Yeah, there's a lot of myths about them being together. I got the only interview she ever gave in her lifetime. She's gone now, but one of them was I read a lot of books on Dillinger, and they said that he had held her head underwater, locked her in closets, and abused her pretty bad. And when I talked to my aunt, I asked her about this, and she said, no, none of that ever happened. And she said, I've never even been interviewed. So I guess they were just he was a bad guy, of course, so I guess they were trying to make him look bad all the way through. And
well, how long were he and your great aunt married?
They were actually married 5 years,
uh-huh.
But about the first 5 months of their marriage, Dillinger, actually a friend of theirs named Ed Singleton, he had went to the pool hall with him and drank some corn liquor, which is considered moonshine. And Ed Singleton had already had a plan to rob this grocer, and Dillinger was intoxicated, and he hit the guy over the head, and that turned into he got caught, and they sentenced him to 20 years in prison, and he pretty much. Well,
that's when he was like 16, though, right?
No, he was actually 21 at the time, and they pretty much threw the book at him.
Yeah, he went to jail for 16 years or something.
Yeah, and then she was with him for 5 more years, and I asked Pearl about it, and she said, I didn't think he'd ever get out of prison, and she still loved him, but she didn't think he was going to be in prison for 20 years, so she divorced him.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of talk about how prison really took somebody who already had issues and changed him really into a bitter person.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Tony, you don't even understand. I mean, here this is now it's like liberal talk time with Catherine Michael. Prison is responsible for John Dillinger being a mass murderer.
No,
right?
I think he probably would have been
issues.
anyway.
He had some anger control issues, and he wasn't breastfed as a child, and he wasn't cuddled, and prison didn't give him the nurturing that he needed, and so then he became a mass murderer.
But it is interesting how he got out of prison and just really went on a rampage.
What's interesting about that?
Well, I would expect that maybe prison would have made him reluctant to commit another crime.
Well, no, here's an idea. Why don't we keep him in prison, and then you don't have these problems? What about that?
One question that
Or you're home as a full-time gardener with an ankle bracelet.
No.
Tony, Hamilton County.
But I mean, it is interesting that he really had a life that, he started early in crime and then, he went to prison and then it skyrocketed.
I have to ask, do you think it had anything to do with his diet? In other words, not enough nutrients or
I'm sure.
Hey,
we will have a whole show on that another time.
Thank you. I just wanted to...
Hey, Tony, in your book, is there any research on, like, high fructose corn syrup diet in prison and how that leads to a life of crime when you're released?
No, I think back then they actually did give him bread and water. Like we heard in the olden days, they really fed him that way. And
too many carbs.
His years in prison, he was actually, instead of rehabilitated, he was actually educated from professional bank robbers. Went in amateur criminal, came out a professional bank robber. So he got an education in prison.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, okay, thanks. Hey, thanks for the help. All the men are sticking together over here. All right. Hey, thank you for calling in. And your book again, what the title is what?
Dillinger, The Hidden Truth. Hey, can I plug my magazine? I got a magazine called Johnny and Burl Dillinger, and it's in Burl's own words. And anyone interested can reach me at johnnydillinger@AOL.com.
Well, okay.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Well, yeah, that's it. And I wanted to tell you guys thank you for having me.
All right. Well, Wanda was plugging the what is it? The bar?
Oh, yeah, Slippery Noodle.
The Slippery Noodle. So, hey, we're going to do a show of plugs.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Perfect. All right. Hey, Tony, thanks for... All right, buddy. Thanks. You. Appreciate it.